We are back. The Silver and Blue Huddle on a victory week. Week 1, Cowboys got the victory. We're going to talk about that. But I'm excited. My Cowboys finally dominated the team from start to finish. They got real nasty. They put 30 up on the on the Browns. I loved it. So it's happy to be back, man. Got the fellas with me as well. So amazing. Expert Corner, Silver and Blue Huddle, another episode, another week, another Cowboys podcast. And we all are excited because we get to come up here and talk about how we dominated the Cleveland Browns and we got our first win of the season, because a lot of you guys did not give us credit heading into this game. Like, I watched the shows, everybody was picking the freaking Browns. Everybody, the Browns got the number 1 defense. Myles Garrett, they playing at home, they tough at home, and look what the Cowboys did. Straight domination. 30. The game was over kind of like in the first quarter. We kind of coasted. The score should be a lot worse than what it was, but hey, we'll take it. 1-0, man. Hate on, okay? Because that's what y'all gonna do. So we here to talk about it, man. So let's hop right into it, man. But first, we do got to also do our quarterback. He's back. He's officially back. He signed for $240 million. A lot guaranteed. A lot of signing bonus. But the most important thing is that we got our guy. We are going to be set at a quarterback position for at least like the next 4 to 5 years. And I'm hoping we're going to have some success at the quarterback position. And even as the team, we have some success and we get back to winning Super Bowls with Dak Prescott at the forefront and CeeDee Lamb and everybody else. But let's hop right into the contract, man. Dak Prescott re-signed right before kickoff. What you guys think about that? Let's talk about that.
Hey, listen, talk about last minute. We were on the podcast last week talking about, man, if it don't happen before the game goes off, we're going to have to wait to the end of the year, and he's going to have to bet on himself. And listen, I'll let you guys get into the numbers, man, because it was a phenomenal contract. But I'm excited. At least it's out the way. I actually put some money on the Cowboys when I heard that he got his paycheck before the game. So I put a little my personal money on it. So shout out to Dak, man. Welcome to Cowboy Nation.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, highest paid player in the NFL gets the contract that we all knew he was going to get, whether it was going to be from the Cowboys or from all these teams. I mean, you look at all these teams that would love to have a Dak Prescott. You can't tell me the New York Giants aren't sitting at home right now begging and pleading they had a guy like Dak Prescott at quarterback. You know, look at the Titans. The Titans wish they had a guy like Dak Prescott. I promise you. So, you know, it was good. It was good to see him get paid. You know, there was a lot of talk, Rich and So Amazing, about how Jerry Jones didn't believe in Dak Prescott. He didn't think he deserved this. All this stuff, they try and twist the narrative, but they were just trying to get the language of the contract to work for both sides. He's got a no tag clause. He's got no trade clause. There's a lot of contract language that the Cowboys typically do in contracts that Dak didn't want to see in his contract, and Dak got his way. 4-year, $240 million. I mean, he's a $60 million quarterback. And you could talk about he doesn't deserve $60 million, but that's just where the market is going. You give Trevor Lawrence $255 million, you got to pay Dak. You got to pay him. Deshaun Watson got a ridiculous payday when he came from Houston to go to Cleveland. You had to pay Dak Prescott that kind of money. Tua got paid. All these quarterbacks get paid that aren't on the same level Dak is on, so you knew he was going to get paid. So was good to see. I'm glad that, like So Amazing said, I'm so glad they got it done before the season, because if not, he was going to be a free agent after the year, and I promise you, there would have been a team that would have been giving him more than $60 million. I promise you.
It could have possibly been a distraction, too. During the season.
The whole year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to have him finally sign, man. There was already rumors out there that he was going to get like a contract right before kickoff. And then, you know, I mean, we're glad that it came true, but I'm happy we got him solidified under the quarterback position, because trust me, I've been saying it all year. I said it last week. I didn't want to go back to like searching for a new quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, because I lived through many bad quarterbacks: Quincy Carter, Chad Hutchinson, Drew Bledsoe. Oh my God. And the list goes on.
Ryan
freaking Leaf. Like, I did not want to go back through that again. So where or not Dak Prescott is highly successful in bringing us to Super Bowl, I don't know, but I'm pretty excited at the possibility that he probably will eventually get over that hump over the next 4 years. So the future is going to be looking bright, man. We got our team together. I think I was talking with So Amazing the other day. He kind of like laid out a vision for me on how the Cowboys can like really continue to like go up and maybe make it to the NFC Championship and probably the Super Bowl as well. So I'm pretty excited about that vision, and I saw it because I didn't see it before. But let me also ask you guys while we're talking about Dak, right? What expectations do you have now on Dak on this new contract situation? 4 years. In 4 years, as a fan, are you expecting at least one Super Bowl, or are you expecting to go to 4 championship games? Like,
I mean, isn't that the goal every year, right? Is you want to have the opportunity to play for a Super Bowl. So for me, the opportunity to play for a Super Bowl means you must make the playoffs every single year. So he has got to be a winning quarterback every single year and put his team in position to have a chance to play for the Super Bowl. We were talking about this on the stream the other day. There's 32 teams. All 32 teams have aspirations of playing in the Super Bowl. Only 2 teams get to play in the Super Bowl. That's not many teams out of 32. It's not easy to get to the Super Bowl. It's pretty difficult. And so I just want Dak Prescott to be Dak Prescott, right? We saw last year over 4,000 yards passing. He only had 9 interceptions. He led the league in QBR, in touchdown throws. I mean, he was lights out last year, and to me, he should have won the MVP. He had the best year at quarterback. Obviously, as the Dallas Cowboy quarterback, there's a little added pressure, right? We've been talking about this Super Bowl drought for so long as Cowboy fans that, yes, I would love to see in 4 years. If he can just get us one Super Bowl, I will be extremely happy. I will say that 4-year contract was well worth it if he can just win us one Super Bowl. But to me, he's got to put us in position year in and year out to at least have a chance to go play for the Lombardi.
right. What about you, So Amazing?
Yeah, I mean, I have to kind of almost piggyback on what Expert just said. I mean, as a Cowboy fan, I just want to make sure that Dak is happy himself, and of course, he got the money for it. And this might be Dak is 31 years old right now, so this is like the peak of his Cowboy, professional quarterback career. We never know what might happen in the future. He might retire a Cowboy. He might go off to another team. We don't know, right? So this is like the peak financially probably for him in his lifetime, because I don't think he's ever going to get like a high contract like this again unless he becomes a Super Bowl winning champion, which then, we got to wait for that to come. But I'm excited as a Cowboy fan to see Dak. Now he's happy. He got money in his pocket. He's financially secure. So now he just got to make sure he's secure with himself as for the football field, and get out there and just, dominate. And that's it. I mean, you got your boy Zeke Elliott in the backfield with you. I mean, you got the weapons that you wanted. I mean, you got the team that you want right now. So, I mean, if you don't, if you can't bring it home for Cowboy Nation, and that's a high expectation, right? That's a high expectation. Dak is always put on a high expectation all the time. Being on the Cowboys, being in front of Jerry's World, being part of the drama. It's a high expectation every year. So just like Expert said, you got to keep getting better every year. So the next thing that the fans want to see is that Super Bowl run. But I got a question for you, Rich, and this has to do with Dak.
Yeah.
Would you feel, and this is for you too, Expert, would you feel as a fan, not as a player, as a fan, if these 4 years pass for this extension and the furthest that Dak got us was a Super Bowl appearance, but we didn't win. We did not win. But imagine he gets us there at least once out of this 4-year extension. Do you think that 4-year deal is worth it?
For me, like one Super Bowl appearance, and I'm hoping maybe in those other 3 years he's led us up to past beyond the second round and into the championship round. Those 3 years, and then that one Super Bowl loss. I mean, I would say we're probably successful, because up to this point, he ain't really been getting us past the first round. So to get us to the championship game 3 years and then make the Super Bowl and unfortunately lose, I would say it was a success, because he actually showed more potential to like get us over that hump. So I mean, what I don't want to see is 4 years of first round exits, or 4 years of
I think
struggling.
for me, if in that Super Bowl he played well, right? If he gets to the Super Bowl and he plays well and we lose because we just can't stop, or we, CD goes down, or Zach Martin gets hurt, and next thing you know, the pressure is there. If we got to the Super Bowl and he played well and we don't lose the Super Bowl because of the quarterback play, yes, I would say it's successful. But then again, at this point, when you're the highest paid player in the NFL, there are certain expectations on top of you having that star on the side of your helmet that are going to be levied on Dak Prescott. And I promise you, it's not going to be from season to season. It's going to be game to game. Dak Prescott has a bad game this year, the first thing you're going to see on TV is he worth the $240 million Jerry Jones paid him? It's going to be inevitable, right? So Dak has to be, listen, I know Dak is just throughout watching his career, he's one of those guys. I don't really think he feeds too much into all the media nonsense. He kind of just, he's in his own lane as a quarterback, and I really like that about him. So I don't really think he worries about all that stuff. But my thing for Dak is I just want Dak to, like So Amazing said, I want Dak to be the best Dak that he possibly can be, right? And if he does that, we know the type of talent that he has, and they put a lot of talent around him now. I know a lot of people talked about in the offseason the Cowboys didn't do anything, but then you look at this first game, you're like, well, maybe the Cowboys did do some stuff in the offseason to make themselves successful. They went and got 2 studs on the offensive line. They went and got Kendricks at linebacker, who played out his mind. Carson that played at corner. You couldn't have asked for a better start for these rookies that played on this team. Zeke looked young again. Rico Dowdle looked, I mean, this team looked good, and that defense was absolutely hungry. So there are pieces around Dak Prescott to make him successful. Now it's about just putting all that together and making the run. Like Rich said, I don't want to see 4 wild card exits. That's not what I want to see.
Right. And speaking of the Dak Prescott, like actually as a content creator myself and as the biggest Dallas Cowboy troll here on Facebook or just in general, actually I already have a reel loaded up, ready to hit send the moment that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys lose, and I'm mocking his contract situation. I already filmed it. I already have it in my draft. I thought maybe I was gonna have to like use it this week, but I'm glad I haven't. I didn't. I don't want to use that reel, but just know it's already loaded up, ready to go. And the caption is definitely mocking his contract situation. So I hope I don't have to use that reel this year, Dak. I hope I don't. But let's hop right into the week 1 results, man. Like I said, we went down to Cleveland on the road. Last year, the Cowboys won the great road team. But to get this W on the road says a lot about the Cowboys, man. It's probably one of the most impressive starts for the Cowboys season that we had in quite a long time. I'm not even counting the Giants game that we played first last year. I mean, that was we knew that was going to happen. But to go on the road week 1 and dominate the Cleveland Browns in the fashion that a lot of people didn't give us a chance to do so. I love what I saw from the Cowboys, offense and defense from start to finish. Yeah, the offense didn't have a good second half or whatever, but they didn't need to. And I saw that was a difference in between Cowboy games too, because the Cowboys is up big going into the second half. They would want to continue to add points and points and points and have a bunch of 3 and outs because they still out there passing or whatever instead of trying to manage the game. So even though we kind of struggled in the second half, I'm kind of glad that we took the approach that we did on offense and not put the defense in the position that they got to go out and get stops. Like I like the approach. Obviously, I want to see more points scored, but I'm totally okay with the way we handled the second half because we was up. And in past history, we'll see the Cowboys come out in the second half, 3 and out, clock stopping. You look up, the Cowboys had 3 possessions in the second half and only 2 minutes and came off the clock. But let's get into it, man. Week 1 recap. So amazing. Esper, what y'all think? Give me your thoughts. Offense, defense, let's go.
I'll just go straight with the defense, man, because I feel like that's what dominated everything. And again, I'll let you guys follow up. If there's any stats, numbers that I missed. I'm just going to run down a few real quick. Kendricks, let's get down straight to hitting that quarterback, right? Because we were worried about Deshaun Watson, what kind of Deshaun Watson we were going to get, right? 2 sacks by Kendricks, 2 sacks by D-Law, 1 sack by Michael Parson. And the number 1 hit on the quarterback has to be, hands down, Demo, Mr. Overshawn, with 11 total tackles, 5 solos, and one of those solos was an angle tackle, a beautiful angle tackle, right, taking out Deshaun Watson as he was trying to scramble right. And that boy's from the University of Texas, and he plays in the Dallas Star. And that was my favorite play and my favorite player of the game. And again, back to like what experts said, Carson did his thing at corner. He had a hard matchup with Amari Cooper. I mean, the defense played out of their minds, man. And I shout out to the Cowboys defense because I want to say I feel like that set the tone. And special teams, Turbo Turpin, Turn Up Turpin, whatever you want to call him. That boy went 60 yards and he took it to the house. So I was happy to see that too. So I'll leave it at that. I'll let you guys follow up with me. But that was what was exciting for me.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I think this was about a complete game that you could ask for from your defense. They got after the quarterback. They controlled the run game. Obviously, the Browns were without Chubb, so I mean, you're going to see a drop off in their run game. They were without two of their big offensive linemen, so there were some things that the Cowboys took advantage of, and you love to see that because you can look on the other side too. When we look at this offense, the Cowboys started a rookie at center and a rookie at left tackle versus arguably the number one defense in the NFL. This Cleveland Browns team, from their D-line linebacker to their corners and safeties, is one of the best defenses we have seen in a long time. And they get after the quarterback and they stop the run and they play great in pass coverage. But I love what Rich said. Last year, when the Cowboys would have been up 20-7 at halftime, they would have came out and they would have said, okay, we're going to put up 20 points in the third quarter and put this game away. That's not this Cowboy team. This Cowboy team reminds me of the old Cowboys when they had Emmitt Smith. And if you went down 14 points versus that team, you were done. It was a wrap. They would just lean on you and run the football. And we talked in episode 1 of the Silver and Blue Huddle about this running back by committee. That's exactly what we got. Zeke, Dowdle. You saw CeeDee Lamb take several sweeps. Dak Prescott using his feet. We saw Deuce Vaughn got a carry. Brandon Cooks got a carry. And as a group, running the football had over 100 yards, and that's what we want to see. Now, obviously, the Cowboys were not in a close game, so they're not pressing on offense, right? They're just letting the clock run. They're trying to put a couple drives together. Punt is not a bad thing. Get it within field goal range because you got Aubrey the leg sitting on the sidelines. There was one thing that pissed me off, right? 66-yard field goal before the half. He kicks it, and he had plenty of room. He kicked the hell out of that thing. Yep. You get to delay a game. I want Mike McCarthy. Let him kick the 71-yarder.
Yo, I wanted to see that so bad.
I'm yelling at the TV, Mike. Let him kick it. Let him kick it. I think he could have made a 71-yard. But I think that's another piece of the Cowboys that we don't really worry about now, right? We feel if Aubrey comes in the game, no matter how long the kick is, he just makes it look so effortlessly that ball goes through the upright. But I was super impressed with Dak Prescott, right? Obviously, when you get paid $240 million right before the game, there's got to be some nerve for you to come out here and throw for 300 yards, have 3 touchdowns, be this big, huge quarterback. Dak Prescott was very smart. He checked the ball down. He didn't try and force things against this really good defense. Mike McCarthy called a great game plan to get him away from Myles Garrett. They're chipping Garrett. They're double teaming on the backside. There was a lot of good things about this game. And Dak, I think he kind of understood in his offense, not just Dak, but this offense understood, listen, guys, we don't have to press right now. Let's just play smart because the way this defense is playing, the way that Zimmer had this defense flying around, and I saw some of the All-22 today. I was watching it a little bit at work while I was working. Really not working, just watching All-22. Mike Zimmer, his scheme is absolutely ridiculous. And so they were talking about when he was in Minnesota, Aaron Rodgers talked about how he confused him so much with the way that he lined his scheme up. And he did that with the Cowboys on Sunday. He would put those 2 middle linebackers in that double A gap and that double mug. And one time he'd rush one, then he'd rush both, then he'd back both of them out. And it kind of confused that Cleveland offensive line, and it caused a couple plays. The one where Overshown gets the tackle is one play where he didn't recognize. He thought the blitz was coming in the middle, and he forces himself out and forced himself into that tackle for loss because Overshown he like out of a rocket. Now, the thing that makes me so impressed about this young kid is he's coming off an ACL injury where he missed the whole year. Micah Parsons is chasing Deshaun Watson down on that play, and out of nowhere, Overshown is there in a heartbeat. We did not have that last year. We talked about this all last year about linebacker play. We did not have that. You bring Kendricks in. He played his tail off. He had 2 sacks. He had an interception. I mean, the whole defense won this football game. You turn the ball over. You get the pick there. Diggs gets the pick. I mean, I couldn't say enough good things about this defense. All of Donovan Wilson flying around, hitting anything that would move. That's crazy. This is a team, and they have depth. Marquise Bell comes into the game. Wanye Thomas comes into the game, and they don't lose any steps. They got a lot of depth on this defense. And so it was good to see that, like So Amazing said, it's you look at across the board, there's so many great stats from this defense. Then you look at the offense. Zeke looked He looked 3 years younger to me in this game. They really spelled him really well. They weren't forcing the ball to him. He had 10 carries. I'm perfectly fine with him getting 10, Dowdle getting 10. I would love to see, as we get later in games, Deuce Vaughn to get some more carries. I think he's a little shifty back. You got to find some touches for him. I know it's going to be hard. Dalvin Cook, when does he come into play here? There's a lot of moving pieces here. And then the only bad part on the offense for me was Jake Ferguson getting hurt. Now he's week to week. The good thing is he's week to week. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm not letting him play versus the Saints. I'm holding him out. We got the Ravens here in 2 weeks. We got to have our entire.
But we got Schoonmaker, right? Schoonmaker. It'll be Schoonmaker.
You got Schoonmaker or whatever he is from Michigan. I'm sure he's glad not to be in Michigan no more. But you got a good backup tight end. Now, does that mean they go back and get Peyton Hendershot, who they cut in the offseason? Maybe they go back and get him. I don't know. They've got some tight ends on the team. We'll see, because Dak Prescott loved throwing to Jake Ferguson last year. He's a big tight end guy. Dalton Schultz was the same way when he was here. So we'll see. But super excited about this team. Was a good quality win from all three phases. I mean, so amazing. Talked about Turpin, the secret weapon we have returning kicks and punts at
talk
any
about,
point.
Like I said, talk about just special teams, right? Like you said,
Aubrey. Yeah, that guy can just take off. He's got just a different gear. And did you see him on the punt return directing the blocks? Like, you go here, you go. That's the stuff I'm excited to see. Was good to see from this team. Was a good win, especially versus a very good Browns team. Like Rich said, when you looked at the media before the game, not a lot of people picking the Cowboys. Right. A lot of people picking that Browns team. And Deshaun Watson just played like complete garbage. And this Cowboys team dominated from start to finish.
And I think back to what you're saying with the Zimmer, the Zimmer mindset, right? And his defensive, the way like he schemed it up perfectly. Like there was physical hits. It looked like to me. Now again, I don't know what the scheme was, but to me as a fan watching the game, because I understand football as well, there was a lot of physical hits. Like I said, Overshawn with 11 total tackles, 5 solos, and that's just him. But like you said, Wilson had a nasty solo hit too. Like there was a lot of physicality in that game, and Browns are physical. And shout out to our O-line, Cooper Beebe didn't let one guy pass him to get in Dak's face. Yep, I will say, like the left-hand side, Myles Garrett's gonna do his thing. You can't stop him fully. Right. Guyden did the best he could, but in that middle where Biatis was, and now Cooper Beebe was there was nobody that came right down the middle and hit him in the face. So I was very happy.
Game one, we feel it's an upgrade at center. I think Guyton played well. Obviously, he's got the top pass rusher coming off of the edge for 40 snaps. Tyron Smith is not stopping Myles Garrett the entire game. So Guyton played well. They gave him some help. That's what I love to see from Mike McCarthy. They chipped. They rolled away from Garrett. They ID'd wherever he was. So it was all around a good start to the season. I just need to see this for 16 more games.
Right, 16 and beyond, because like you guys said, for this one game here, and it's kind of like the winning formula for any team. You had the offense on point, you had the defense on point, and you had the special teams on point. You ran back a kick, and you also had the kicker just going crazy. So you got 4 different things going for you. And when you have those 4 different things going for you, you're more than likely going to win the game every single time. And then to have a weapon like Brandon Aubrey, which really means that you got to get over if you take it at the 30, you probably just got to get over to the other side of the field, 40 or 50 yards to be guaranteed at least 3 points. You got 3 points in your pocket with Brandon Aubrey once you get over midfield. So every possession the Cowboys are on the offense, you should be able to get points. Obviously, we want 7, but to have 3 and continue to put the pressure on the other team that they got to get some points too is huge in the NFL. Like I said, the Cowboys didn't really get like a lot of good plays in the second half. I kind of felt like they was testing out some plays, getting CD some reps too, because there was some plays where CD just kept running the slant and Dak just kept throwing it to him. Some of them was completed, some wasn't, but I felt like they was just testing it out a little bit, try to get that chemistry going. But overall, I was impressed with the Cowboys. I was impressed with offense, defense, special teams, Turpin. If we get that every single week, man, we're gonna be rough to play every single week. And I know we got a tough schedule according to the media, but I feel we can just come out and dominate and play with the best of them. I know Deshaun Jackson probably was a downgrade or whatever what he was in the Texans, but he's still a very mobile quarterback. And there was times when he was able to get out of the pocket and make plays, but by that time the game was already over. But happy with week 1, man. Glad the Cowboys did their thing. I look forward to the rest of the weeks that they're gonna play. But coming up next, we got the New Orleans Saints in Dallas. The Saints actually put up 40 or 50 points on whoever they was playing. I forgot who it was, but
They played Carolina.
They're
The
Carolina.
Panthers. Yeah, they
Yeah.
put up 30 on the Panthers. No big deal there. But we got them coming up. I think we played them 2 seasons ago, and we beat them down in New Orleans. But they still a pretty good team, and they got Derek Carr. Pretty sure they still got Cam Jordan. They still got Alvin Kamara. So
Yeah.
definitely not an opponent that we can overlook. But we are playing at home. Hopefully the Cowboys build on this momentum that they had this prior week, and we can just go out and dominate and put another 40 on another NFL team, because I like for us to be nasty and just come out and dominate from start to finish. Like, that's what I want to see from the Cowboys every week, man. I don't want to see no close games. I don't see no win by field goal. I want us to win by double digits every single week, because I think we're just that good. But let's talk about the Saints, man. Week 1, how you feel about it? Like, what you think we need to do as we wrap up the podcast here today?
I mean, the way the Cowboys played last week, I'm very confident in this week coming up. I mean, you're coming to our house. There's going to be a lot of excitement. The crowd's going to be into it. The Saints, yeah, they beat up on a team that doesn't know what the heck is going, what's left or right. I don't think the Saints have enough to stop us. I mean, I know the Saints got some good players here and there. I think as a team, Cowboys, I think we have it in all 3 phases right now. If I'm a betting man, I'm definitely putting heavy on Cowboys money line. And I'm gonna say we win 27. I'm gonna say 27-10.
Yeah, I think here's the thing about the Saints is that outside of maybe Alvin Kamara, there's not really a superstar on that offense. You got Chris Olave at wide receiver. But the thing that this Saints team did really well on Sunday was they ran the football over 180 yards rushing. We got to control that. And Derek Carr spread the ball around, right? There's no more slant man in New Orleans where you're just worried about him. He got the ball to 8-9 different wide receivers and tight ends, running back. So it's going to be a game where the Cowboys have to get after the quarterback. They got to put some pressure on Derek Carr. We've seen that over the past couple years. He doesn't deal well with pressure, and this Cowboy team is going to get after the quarterback all year. And then it's about controlling the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball. It's going to be the same MO. We're going to talk about this. Stop the run game from another team. Don't turn the ball over, and you're going to be just fine if you're the Cowboys. Like So Amazing said, it's the home opener. AT&T Stadium is going to be going nuts, right? The first time they get to look at their new Cowboys this season. It's the Saints, a team that's just coming off a 47-10 win, a big win for the Cowboys versus the Browns. I expect this to be high energy, and I'm going with So Amazing. I think this is going to be a 28-10 game. I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Cowboys put them away early in the second half and just coast to another victory. But I'm like Rich, I want to see a blowout. I want to see them put up 25, 30 points against this team. And just make it a good Sunday. They got the early game too. Cowboys played well at home last year, so should be an easy win for the boys. But there's really no easy wins in the NFL. Every team got NFL stars that make money. So you got to come in, do your assignments, block where you're supposed to block, control the line of scrimmage, don't turn the ball over. We'll be just fine.
Right. I didn't know.
I just think the Cowboys have a lot. They just have.
Yeah.
I think they'll be ready.
I didn't know it was an early game, man. Like, history shows
1
us
o'clock.
that the Cowboys don't wake up into the second half when they play
Yep.
early games. I forgot what game they was. Like a few years ago, they had like a 1 o'clock game, and then they didn't show up into the second half. They had to come back to beat that particular team. But I hope that's not the case. So yeah, I just want to see us win. Like I said last week, I don't care if it's by a point or like a field goal, safety, whatever. Just get the W. But I would like to see us continue to like dominate teams, man. To like really continue to keep the attention of everybody and the focus on the Dallas Cowboys. Say, hey, we're real. Yeah, we do this during the regular season, but I want to see it every single week, week in, week out. We continue to improve because as you continue to improve, man, it is going to carry over into the playoffs. Like, as long as you don't highlight no struggle games and you limping into the playoffs, then you should be okay. I mean,
And we got to get ready for those teams like the 49ers and the AFC, I mean the
right.
NFC, because there are some powerhouses that we got to get ready for. And listen, we saw it on Monday. That Jets Niners game. Hey, shout out! I'll sneak it in there real quick. Aaron Rodgers, he didn't do that bad. I think it was fine. It's just I think the Niners are still hungry. They want that Super Bowl. So as a Cowboy fan, that's what I want to see. I can't wait for that rematch. I can't. It's like a fighter where you beat everybody else already, but you got that one guy that just I don't know what it is. That one guy that just got your number, and right now that's the 49ers for us. And we got to figure out how to get just as nasty and tough like they do. We got to figure that out.
Yeah, and before we get out of here, like speaking on the division, because we talked about it last week as well, and it's going to be a staple of the show every single week. So obviously the Eagles won, we won. The Giants
Lost.
They lost. The Commanders lost. So it's between us and the Eagles now, 1-0. Coming up this week, you got the Giants and the Commanders, so they get to battle it out. So that'll probably be somebody get their first division win. But if I had to pick in that game, I would probably say the Commanders because the Giants just look a mess. Daniel Jones look like a hot mess. So they just need to like retract that whole team and kick them out of the NFL because they are horrible.
It's the mid bowl. That's all it is. It's the mid bowl.
Yeah.
Two mid teams going after each other to see who gets third place.
Right, and even saying that they mid is kind of like a general. You giving them a lot of credit. So saying that
I guess
they don't even deserve mid. And then you got the Eagles and Falcons on Monday night. Kirk Cousins gonna be the X factor, but I'm hoping for a Falcons win. Like, what are y'all thinking?
I mean, Kirk Cousins played horrible this week too.
Yeah,
did not play well. That Eagles team went to Brazil, got a good win versus a good Packers team. And we talk about the big bad 49ers. We got to talk about the Eagles too because they're the big team that we have to fight here in this division. So always keep a close eye on that Eagles team because they got a lot of talent there too. We'll see. Saquon Barkley just upgraded that team so much.
Yeah, he looks good, bro. He looks good against the Packers.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I think Cowboys just got to stay focused on who they got.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure when we actually play a conference game or a division game, but
hey, I'm rooting for the Falcons, man. They better figure out how to use Kyle Pitts and beat the Eagles. Shit,
man, you just can't you can't let the Eagles.
I get mad.
Game. The Packers should have won.
So,
like, all those turnovers that they got, they should have been.
I agree. I agree that the Packers had a chance to win, but that's the thing about the NFL. It's the game of turnovers, right?
Yeah.
If you turn the ball over, you're going to struggle. And if you ask Philadelphia, they had a couple turnovers they didn't think they should have had as well. So it's going to be interesting. Again, the Falcons aren't, the greatest team, but they have talent all over the field as well. We'll see what happens. We got some tough games coming up. We got the Saints this week, and then we got the Ravens. And then you get a division opponent finally in week 4 against those mid Giants. So
yeah, I totally agree.
We'll see.
Like I said, I'm just happy that we got our first win of the season. That was a great start, great performance by our Cowboys. I hope to see it continue with the Saints this week. I got them winning. I'm just going to cap. So I got them winning by 40, okay? I want to see 42-3, okay? That's me. But another great episode, man. So amazing. Expert Corner here. Hopefully next week we can come up here and celebrate again and show you guys that we're 2-0. Make sure you also follow the podcast on the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow Expert, follow So Amazing on their social channels, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram. Make sure you follow I'm going to do better with uploading the podcast on all the different podcasting platforms. So wherever you listen to podcasts, Silver and Blue Huddle will be there. So make sure you follow us on there. But anything else you guys got before we get out of here?
Yeah, we got new players of the game. Who was the player of the game for each of us?
I mean, mine was Overshawn.
So I think for me, I got to give it to Brandon Aubrey. That guy continues to impress every single week. But I think on the defensive side, a guy we didn't talk about was Jordan Lewis. The glue guy in that secondary just played his tail off, was all over the field. We asked him to do a lot in that defense. Obviously, Overshawn was a great pick. This was his rookie season since he missed all last year and just played his tail off. But I'm going to go Brandon Aubrey, continues to be Mr. Automatic when we put him on the field.
Right. And if I had to pick, I'm actually going to go with 3 people. I'm going to go with the whole running back by committee. Like they did their thing. They was able to move the ball,
Yeah,
running the ball.
yeah,
Like it was 3 different people. Zeke got the touchdown, which I was surprised by. I mean, he ain't Zeke of the old, but he still can get in there and score a touchdown and pound and get some yards or whatever. Rico did his thing as well. So did Deuce Vaughn. So I'm gonna give my player of the game to the running back by committee. Like they do that and continue to have positive gains on the ground, like
yeah,
we're going to be unstoppable because that was one of the things that we was missing last year. Even though we did have Tony Pollard, but to be able to control the game on the ground isn't
yeah,
it's important. It's key, right? So
absolutely.
like what does Zeke have? Let me look at
At
that right
40.
quick. Yeah,
Zeke
Zeke
had
had
40,
40,
10 carries
Rico
for 40 yards
26, CD
and
had
one hurdle.
25. I mean,
Yeah,
it's small numbers, but if you watch the game, it really made a difference. At key points,
absolutely.
that run game was critical. So I'm gonna give
Yeah,
my player of the game to the running back by committee. I want to see more of that. I want to. It ain't got to be over 100 yards or 200 yards by one person. Just continue to bang it out, man. Get the yards. It was
yeah.
critical. I'm telling you, I can't. I'm overstating how critical that run game was. Like I loved it. So that's my player of the games. But Silver and Blue Huddle, Week 1, Dallas Cowboys 1-0. Know you guys going to hate on that, but please leave any comments or any questions you have down below, and we will be sure to get to it on the following podcast. But Richblkman, so amazing. Expert Corner, we'll holler at you guys and see you next week. Peace out.